Okay, so oil's still draining, cleaned up. I decided to do the wiring exactly how I want it to be when it's finished. See there, I've got it spliced with caps on there, and this long old cord is spliced to that long cord, which is way more than I need, more cord than I need. So I'm going to take those off, and I'll just put that plug on the cord over here. And then I'm going to use that piece for the switch. So this is all one piece. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to get into this box here and see how this switch is wired up, so that I can wire up the other cord and use that instead of this cord. Okay, so I got my new plug on there on just one of the cords instead of both of them. Got my start-stop button all hooked up. I'll be pulling all that stuff when I start sanding and painting, but for now, leave it on there so I don't start losing stuff while I take care of this stuff. Still draining, so I'm going to call it a night for tonight. Tomorrow I'll take off that elbow, clean up all of this stuff, clean up the other side, clean up all these pulleys. I might have to go either buy or borrow from my buddy a puller to take off these pulleys and clean it up really good. And I may break into the gearbox. We'll see. So for now, I'm calling it a night. Okay, so next day, all the oil is drained out, or I thought it was. You guys saw last time I had this propped up with a little bowl under it. There's all the oil that's come out of it. Well, I looked under there and it had stopped dripping, so I took the bowl out, set down the bandsaw, and didn't take into account that there was going to be some oil left over from it being tilted. So I got a little bit on my workbench, a little bit on the ground, but yeah, it seems to be all drained out now. I tried getting this elbow off, and it is stuck on there something good. So I been soaking it in Croil, see if it'll loosen that up. Kind of cleaned off around it a little bit, all the gunk. And so I'm going to see if I can take that off now. I'm going to get this whole bottom part cleaned up. Went to my buddy's house, scrubbed my jaw pullers back. Just a cheap set. They're like, I don't know, 30 bucks. And I'd already gone and I removed the pulley on the motor, cleaned the shaft and pulley all up. So I'm gonna be pulling those ones off, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get this big one off or not. I've got to see how it's on there, and I don't think my jaw puller is gonna fit that large. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm heading. So I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got the elbow out, cleaned up. and a big old blob of paint just stuck around here. They probably painted this while that was on, and it kind of built up around there. Gotta clean all that stuff up. Take this pulley off. Real quick, for those of you that don't know how to use jaw pullers, I'll see if I can do this with one hand. I'm gonna back this out quite a bit. And what this is going to do is go on here, and you gotta back it off some more. I don't know if this is going to fit. Okay, so I couldn't do it with one hand. I got it set up. I couldn't go all the way down here to the bottom with the jaws. Normally you'd get it from the back and get it locked down, but I got it set up right here. You twist this till it gets snug up, and then I have a ratchet set up. Just ratchet it until it starts popping loose. Not sure I'm going to be able to do this with one hand either. Anyways, as you ratchet, this shaft pushes up against this. Your jaws bring this up, and it pulls the pulley out. I'll see if I can get one shot of it. Yeah, you guys probably can't see it, but that's what it does. So I'm going to get this pulley off, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that pulley off. I'll clean up the shaft a bit, clean up the pulley. It is a mess. Don't lose your key. That's what locks the pulley to the shaft. Key bay right there. Locks in, the key fits in there, and it locks in with the slot in the pulley. There we go. So I'm going to get that one cleaned up, and I'm going to see what exactly the set screw on that one, so that probably pulls off. And then there's a retaining ring on that. I don't have the tool to unlatch that. And we'll see what I can do with this one. I might be able to get in there and clean it up enough. Besides the fact that this backs off, it pulls out for, this is the metal option. I believe pulling all the way out locks this larger pulley in gear, and that's for woodworking. And releasing it releases this pulley, and then it'll go strictly off the small pulley drive, which is for woodworking, so that the smaller pulley for metal cutting, because of the lower speed settings, and that would be for the higher speed settings for wood. I think I got that right. Yeah. Anyways, I'll get this all cleaned up and I will be back. Okay, so I'm not sure why I didn't think of this before. I broke out my wire wheel, cleaned up this whole bottom. Took me no time at all. because it helps me to prep. I'm going to be painting this thing anyways, so I mean, need to get it all prepped up, wire wheel down and scuffed up and all that good stuff for primer and paint. So I figured may as well do it to help me get all this grease off too. Cut my time down a bunch. Like I said, I don't know why I didn't think about it before. Just an idiot, I guess. But it's moving quite fast now. Got all that bottomed up. Got this pedestal to do. Get a little bit up here. I'm not going to do that around the shaft. I don't want to take any chances. So that I'll have to clean by hand. But the rest of it, yeah, I'm going to whip it out with the wire wheel. Okay, so I've got the pulleys off. I got the gearbox off, which is right here. Got your gears inside. Got one gear. Two more gears in there, looks like. Anyways, that's the gearbox. Just took off 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, there was like 8 bolts. Took all those off. So, still got some oil in it. I'm going to take a clean rag and kind of wipe it down in there. Make sure if you're doing this, if you're watching this video, to do this also. If you're going to stick the rag in there, stick a clean rag in there. You get metal shavings in there and it's going to go through your cells, and you'll have oil leaks and all kinds of problems. Took the bottom wheel off. That bolt for the bottom wheel, reverse thread. That way when it spins, it's not backing off that bolt. So if you're going to take that off, make sure you're going counterclockwise to take it off, I mean clockwise to take it off. Okay, so here's where I'm at. That would be the gearbox portion. I made a plate just go over out of plywood. That way, as I'm working, shavings and dirt and stuff won't get inside the gearbox. I think it'll work out for me painting too. So after I paint, I'll get that off, wipe down the inside real good. I've got majority of the bottom of the bandsaw cleaned up. Let's see. I took the bottom wheel off. I still got to clean up the inside. I'm going to take off that door, clean up the door, take off all this extra stuff before I paint. And there's the wheel. I'm going to clean up this table still. Soaked all of that in Kroil, loosen it up, a little bit rusted. And I'm just about ready to paint this bottom part. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bottom completely ready, painted and drying before I move on to either the table or cart, I guess you would call it, or the top. I think I'm going to do one piece at a time. That way I can break everything down, get it painted, put it together, and then move on to the next one. We don't have a bunch of parts laying around. Let's see, what else? I'm going to be painting this black and red, mainly black with red accents. I am going to be ordering the tune-up kit, which comes with tires for the wheels. Comes with new brushes it comes with, let's see, where are the brushes on the bottom? Right here. So this thing's definitely due for some new brushes. Comes with a resaw blade, and it comes with forgot what you call it. It's a kind of like a sharpener stone, but it's used to kind of get the burrs off the back of the blade and clean it up so you have a clean cut. Comes with that stone. And I forgot what else it comes with, but I'll be ordering that soon, waiting for that to come in. I think I'm going to paint my wheels black along with the inside black, and just the tire will be red on the inside. So I'll have little red accents here and there, but mainly black. The reason why is I got portal cable equipment, which is black, red, and gray. Craftsman, which is black and red and gray. Pretty much everything I have black, red, with some gray. So as I start making my benches, making this and that here and there, everything's going to be black and red. So that's what color we'll paint this to. Alright, it's just about dinner time, and then I gotta get my son to bed, and then I won't be able to use any loud machinery anymore, so may do some small things here and there, but that pretty much wraps it up for today. I'll catch you guys later. Okay, so I've taken this apart, cleaned it all up, cleaned all these shafts up, cleaned these bolts up, and got this all done, but I'm probably going to have to take it back apart because they just don't adjust well. This one adjusts pretty good, but this one adjusts the whole thing back and forth. This one is supposed to adjust, no, I got that backwards. This one adjusts the whole thing. This one just adjusts the bearing. This bearing is not good. I'm going to have to get a new bearing on that. So that'll have to be taken apart again anyways. But try and adjust it and it just won't. I know when I put the shafts back in, it was kind of hard to slip in. So I'm going to set this off to the side for a little bit. I'm going to continue to work on this bottom. I got to just clean up the inside, tape off some stuff, and then I'll be ready for paint. So once I get that ready, I'll be back.